Stacked inside cardboard boxes, pagers and cell phones continue to ring, even after narcotics agents shut it down. A $70,000 a week drug operation short-circuited by an early morning bust Wednesday on 129th Street in Harlem. But this sting was unique. 24 arrests within the same organization, a clean sweep from top to bottom.
We were able to piece together the history of an extremely violent group which had in the past managed to intimidate those who might otherwise have been witnesses in criminal actions brought against this group.
At the top of the list stands 30-year-old Barry Watson, alleged ringleader and mastermind, who prosecutors say managed to stay out of law enforcement's radar until agents sprung into his Bronx home Wednesday morning, seizing guns, drugs, and $45,000 in cash. Investigators say for more than a decade, Barry Watson ran his crack cocaine organization out of this apartment building. And for the teenagers, prostitutes, and homeless that he employed, fear and the pull of drug addiction was the name of the game. For Watson did not pay his employees in cash, but in crack. And they paid dearly for their high, working long shifts inside the hole, small basement drug dealing rooms with a fist-sized hole in the wall.
The addict or the prostitute could reach out, take the money from a buyer, and hand out the crack. The hole was airless, it had no light, it was rodent infested, had no electricity, and these people worked 12-hour shifts.
The NYPD and the city's Special Narcotics Unit carried out the investigation. It dates back 12 years. The indictment's made possible thanks to changes in the law that allows prosecutors to file conspiracy charges, similar to guidelines set up by federal RICO statutes.
When you have a low-level drug gang like this doing heavy volume, it's very hard to attack them, but they're very profitable, and they're not greedy. They're making a lot of money, and the more money they make, the more sophisticated they get.
Although each of the drug ring's members faced jail time, Watson and another accomplice were hit with the stiffest first-degree conspiracy charges and face 15 years to life in prison. In Harlem, Jay Dow, New York 1.
Welcome to our memories of the past. For nearly 10 years, one block in Harlem, 129th Street, was ruled by fear. Residents knew it, rival dealers respected it, and police struggled to break through it. At the center of that control was Barry Watson, a street boss authorities would later call the terror of 129th Street. What appeared to be just another drug corner was, in reality, a tightly organized operation that forced the NYPD to change how it dismantled street-level drug empires. In the early 1990s, Barry Watson built a drug organization that dominated 129th Street. The operation functioned with strict discipline. Lookouts watched for police, runners moved drugs and cash. Sellers worked assigned shifts, and enforcers made sure no one stepped out of line. Violence was not random, it was used deliberately to maintain control. The organization sold crack cocaine and heroin every day, pulling in thousands of dollars while creating an atmosphere that discouraged residents from cooperating with law enforcement. Despite arrests over the years, the operation survived. When one dealer went down, another replaced him. The organization adapted, learning how to avoid police pressure while continuing to control the block. By the late 1990s, Watson's crew had become deeply entrenched, operating openly and confidently in the same location day after day. By 2001, the NYPD realized traditional drug busts were not enough. Instead of arresting individual sellers, investigators decided to target the entire organization at once. Police began testing a new legal strategy that combined long-term surveillance, undercover drug buys, wiretaps, and conspiracy-based prosecutions. The goal was to map out the full hierarchy, from street dealers to leadership, and prove that everyone involved was part of a single criminal enterprise. For months, investigators quietly gathered evidence, documenting daily drug sales and the structure of Watson's operation. Prosecutors built a case designed not just to remove dealers from the street, but to permanently dismantle the organization. On April 19, 2001, the operation moved into its final phase. Police carried out coordinated raids across Harlem, arresting dozens of members of the Watson organization in one sweep. Barry Watson was taken into custody, And the drug market that had operated on 129th Street for nearly a decade collapsed overnight. Authorities described Watson as one of the most feared street-level drug bosses in the area, and the arrest sent a clear message to other crews operating in the city. As the case moved forward, the full human cost of the organization became clear. Over the years, 3 women connected to the Watson operation lost their lives, underscoring the violence and collateral damage tied to the gang's long run. The arrests did not just end a drug operation, they closed a chapter marked by intimidation, addiction, and loss. By April 23, 2001, officials declared the Watson organization finished. For residents of 129th Street, the takedown marked the end of an era of fear. For the NYPD, the case became a blueprint, proving that even deeply rooted street empires could be dismantled through patience, intelligence gathering, and coordinated legal action. The fall of Barry Watson was not just the end of a drug crew, it was a turning point in how New York City fought organized street crime.